Hello friends, how are you? Thank you for watching the replay. We're back for another astrology hour. So giving people some time to come in. Hi Team Green, welcome, welcome. Aloha, hi. Let me just fix this a little bit. Hi Lemurian Crystal Shop. Hello my Lemurian sister over on Oahu. Welcome. Hello, hello, hello. Yay! So, giving everyone some time to come in. We're doing another astrology Instagram live. Hi, Shaneb. Hello, hello. Welcome. And thank you again to everybody who's watching the recording of this. If you want to share this video with your friends, or if you're afraid that you're gonna miss it, hi Kelly. So this video will be posted in our Magic Tribe group. If you're not already a member of the Magic Tribe, you can tap the link in my bio and scroll down to where it says join the Magic Tribe, and you'll be able to join our group. It's not on Facebook, it's on another platform called Mighty Networks, which is super clear, super clean. There's no advertisements, no recommendation for other groups or other things like that. Hi Will, hi Kelly, welcome, welcome. So it's a really clear, easy platform. They have a mobile app, it's really great. So that is where this video will live after it goes away after the 24 hours on Instagram Live. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome everyone. So today we are starting off, you guys have sent me some questions about what you'd like to know about astrology. And so today we're going through the different meanings of the houses. And I have a whole list of questions that you guys have asked. Hi! So we'll see what we get to after that. Welcome everyone. Hello, hello, hello. So glad that you all are here. Okay, so we're going to talk about the houses in the astrological chart. So what this looks like when I'm talking about the astrological chart is this. So this is my birth chart. And so you can see all of the little rainbow all around. These are all of the different houses. So over the past week or so in our conversations around astrology and the stars and all things galactic and cosmic, we have been talking about finding out your specific birth time. So, hi Julio, so that you can find out exactly where things are going on in your chart. So, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. So, in astrology right now, kind of like in the things that I'm seeing like online and kind of like the modern astrology movement, a lot of the videos that I watch on YouTube or things that I tune into, I showed you guys how I use Alexa for my astrology stuff, and like different emails I get and all the tech stuff. And so, hi Moonstone Priestess. So I really love blending technology and the stars and all things like metaphysical. It just makes me so happy. I think it's because I remember it from like Atlantis and Lemuria. So, there's a trend in astrology right now through these kind of like collective predictions or like collective energy readings or things like that, or even like just checking out your own personal astrology. Hey Liz. They talk about the different activations between different planets, right? So, today there was a square between the moon and Mercury and the moon and Mars. And so relative to what house that's happening in for you will be where you're more likely to feel it in your life. So, however, all of the information, hey Jesse, all of the information that is coming out on those, it's really actually rising sign astrology, because the rising sign and its whole house, it's not any of the other house systems. So it So you have to be able to read your own chart in order to be able to be discerning, so that you know that you're getting the right action, that right information, which I think is a great thing anyway, so that you're not just drinking down the information that you're getting on the internet. Hey Sasha, thank you for being here. Hi Paulina. So that is why I want everybody to be able to read their charts, because I feel like it's a fundamental human right that you should know how to read your chart, and that the powers that be, we're not going to get into any conspiracy theories, but that the powers that be have shunned astrology as a fake science, or as not real, or too woo-woo, or whatever for so long. Why, my friends? Why do the powers that be shun things in general? Whether we're talking about astrology, or women, or spiritual stuff in general, or indigenous cultural wisdom, like, why do they do that? Because it's freaking powerful, and they want to control us. So that, like, we're like, no, done with that shit. So that is why it is important for you to be able to read your chart. It's nice to be able to go to an astrologer when you need like a serious checkup, right? Exactly, Sasha. It's almost like they shun everything that empowers the individual. Not anymore. Not anymore. I'm done with that. I'm so done. So it's fun. It's nice. It's helpful to be able to go to an astrologer when you need like a powerful deep dive. And you, in my opinion, you should not, hey Brina, you should not give over your power of being able to know what the hell is going on in your life cosmologically to another person, even if this astrologer loves you completely, right? It's like, this is your chart. Like, you should be able to check it every day, and you should be able to know what all this stuff means. And because it's just like a way of being, right? It's like, what is this wet stuff? Like, why am I wet? It's like not knowing what rain is, and not knowing what a raincoat is, and not knowing that you actually might need to check the weather to see if you might need a raincoat because it's going to rain. So it's like knowing how to read your chart, knowing what the hell is going on, not asking other people, not always having to tune into what other people are saying as your prediction for your day. And I'll also say that I do that. I totally get daily emails and check my horoscope on Alexa and all that stuff. Right, that's right. See, you've never had considered having a chart done before because you don't know, because this information has been kept away from you to keep you disempowered. Not happening anymore. So I just get on a little rant. So anyway, so you can totally check your horoscope every day or all that kind of stuff, and just know that you know how to read your own chart so that you can listen to that stuff. And like for me, it's like I basically have my chart memorized. And so I know actually exactly all of the degrees and which houses and everything that's going on. And it's not because I have a photographic memory, although kind of. But it's because I've just been working with my chart, looking at my chart, for so long, for so many years. And so then when I hear, my horoscope or whatever say, oh, well, there's a square happening between the moon and Mars, and it's affecting you in this way. And this is the code. It's a code, you guys. It's a code. So whenever they say it's affecting you in this way, then it's referencing a certain area of your chart. Okay, so we're going to do an example here. Okay, so somebody type in to the chat what your rising sign is. Somebody type in. So not your sun sign. So type in what your rising sign is. So this requires a little bit of knowledge. I do happen to know that there are some people on this call who do know what their rising signs are. Okay, here we go. We're going on a field trip. Okay, so we're going to listen to what Alexa has to say about Virgo. You wish you knew. That's why you're here. Okay, good. We have 2 Virgos. This is great. You guys have to be faster. Okay, we have 2 Virgos. Perfect. Hi, Kelly. Okay, so ready? Alexa, what's my horoscope?
L horoscopes by the Astro twins. What sign do you want the horoscope for?
I love you too. Virgo.
L horoscopes by the Astro twins. Virgo, June 12th.
Could you guys hear?
As the sign of service, you like to accommodate others' needs. But there's a fine line between taking care of people and giving away your power. Today, as your ruler, mutable Mercury, in your community zone gets zapped by a people-pleasing Libra moon. Step back and take an objective look at your behavior. Are you even aware that you're doing this? Think about it like this. Virgo, the best way to win people's respect is stop trying to be something you're not and just do you.
Okay.
Give me a new sign or say goodbye to exit. What would you like?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay, was that fun? Can you guys hear her? You're a Virgo, and your Alexa is saying the same thing. I think I'm going to change my Alexa's name to Echo, because you can do that, because it's an echo dot. And because of this same situation, and because I want to be more immersed in the mythical realms. And if you don't know, Echo was a nymph in Greek mythology. So... okay, you don't know what rising means. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about that in just a second. So, switch this here. All right, so for those of you who are Virgo rising, the 2 people who commented and anybody else, did you hear that? Number 1, could you hear that? I think that you could, because we did that the other day. And did that resonate with you? No one saying anything? Okay. So what she was talking about was a square between Mercury, the ruler of Virgo, and the moon, which is in your 10th house. Totally, self-worth has been a huge theme for me. Yes, especially the part about pleasing others. Right? I know. Totally. So this square, and Sasha, I don't have your chart, but you can look at your chart specifically. I'm just looking at like a general Virgo rising. So if you guys don't know, Sasha is also an astrologer. I keep calling you Sasha, but her handle is Starbound Earthseed. Okay, so this is what I switched my own chart. You can do this. So this is what my chart would look like if I was a Virgo rising. So this means that this light green over here, this is Virgo rising. So what she was talking about was this this square, and so a square is a right angle. So it's a tense energy line. It's not a smooth energy flow, right? Because there's a choo-choo happening. So there's a kind of a tense line. And so it's still beneficial. It's not something that's totally bad, because square is structure. So this is how we build structure in our lives. It's just sometimes it takes some effort to really build structure and to really build long-term lasting success in our lives. So it's completely possible to have good things happen during a square. It just might take a little bit of extra effort. So this square was happening between Mars and, so Mars is down here, right there in this chart that I'm making up. There's Mars right here, and then here is, oh no, so she was talking about Mercury. Okay, so here's Mercury is right over here, right there, and That's my Mercury. Okay, so hang on, I'm getting confused. I gotta look at both of these things. So anyhow, the square that she's talking about, here we go. Okay. I'm gonna turn myself into a Virgo rising. Okay, so this might look like crazy pants to you guys. But don't worry. I'm right here with you. So, okay. This is what it looks like. So on the inside, this is my chart, and on the outside, if I was a Virgo rising, and on the outside is the weather of the day. This is how you check the weather of the day. I know, isn't it great? This is called iphemeris. IPHEMERIS. I think you have an iPhone, so it'll work for you. Okay, my love. So this is what we're looking at. And so what she was talking about was the square. Here's Mercury in the sky, right? Because this is the weather. Here is Mercury in the sky, and then it's in the 11th house. And so the 11th house is your tribe, your community, your friend group, the people that you hang out with, people that you network with. It's also the house of your goals, ambitions, and dreams. And so there's this, so here is Mercury, and then the moon is, where's the moon? So here's the moon in Libra over here in the 2nd house. So this is creating a right angle this way between the moon and Mercury. And it's actually kind of affecting Mars too as well. So this is for someone who is Virgo rising. So the two houses, this house and this house, that are being affected are the 11th house, which we talked about is tribe, community, friends, and then this is the house of your personal values. And so what she was talking about, so this is your personal values, whether that is material items or money or things like that. But it's like at the undercurrent, it's about values. And so what is valuable to you? And this is about your own self-confidence as well. Hey, Tracy. So you would need to know, like, is that true for you? And you would have to know that you were a Virgo rising, okay? So if you're a Virgo sun and you were listening to that and you were a Capricorn rising, or you were a Scorpio rising or something else, that's going to shift the placement of those charts for you, of those planetary activations for you. So if you were a Virgo sun and you were actually, let me switch this, you were actually a Cancer rising. Okay, so now I've switched the chart to make me a Cancer rising person. So now the moon is over here in the 5th house, over here. Here's the moon. And then Mercury is over here in the 1st house. And so with this interaction between Mercury in the 1st house and the moon in the 5th house, this means that there is some kind of tense energy flow, energy angle between you and how you present yourself, how other people see you. Could even be about like your physical appearance. The 1st house is also your physical body and your creative expression. It could also be your kids. So that is a very different scenario than having the activation happen between your 11th house of friends and tribe and community and your 2nd house of personal values, right? So that's if you were a Virgo sun and you listened to that thing where, because you're like, oh, what's my horoscope? Oh, I know, I'm a Virgo, so I'm going to listen to what the Virgo thing says. But actually, you're a Cancer rising, so whatever that is talking about is not right for you, because you're not having that activation between your friend group and your community and your tribe. Excuse me, your that conflict between your personal values and what's important to you and your self-confidence versus pleasing other people, putting your own values second to pleasing other people in your community or friend group. That's the activation if you're a Virgo rising, and not if you're a Virgo sun with, for example, Cancer rising, right? So that was the other one that we talked about. Hey, so it's really, really important to be able to read your own chart and to be able to double check this stuff, right? So that you're not just, as I said today, drinking all of the information on the internet without just carte blanche, right? You're just like, oh, I'll just trust it. And I think that I'm having some kind of like tense situation between my friends and my community and my personal values and what I think is important. And so then I might like expect that or fabricate that or in some way when it's like not actually happening. So does that make sense? So then this other person, oh, good, great, amazing, perfect. You were just reading your chart, perfect. So to the person who said that you didn't know what your rising sign was. So we actually talked about rising sign a little bit in the Instagram TV that I did the other day. So the rising sign is when you look at your chart, and so I'll go back to just the chart, not the weather. So when you look at, oh, good, it makes total sense for you. Perfect. Hi. So when you look at your birth chart, and so if you don't have this fancy app, you can go to astro.com, put in your information for free, and it will tell you what your chart looks like. So the rising sign is always going to be over here on the 9 o'clock side of the chart over here. And so that is the rising sign is what was happening on the eastern horizon. So this is the eastern horizon on the day or the evening in which you were born. And then over here, this is the western horizon. So this is the western sky over here. So we can see that in this is my chart. So here, the constellation of Sagittarius was rising in the eastern sky. So so on the morning when I was born, the constellation of Sagittarius was almost completely visible. And so it was just at the tail end when I took that first breath and completed the first elemental ceremony, the ceremony of air, that I sealed in the galactic imprint. And so if you want to hear the full explanation for that, go check out my Instagram story or my Instagram TV that says, is it possible to do a chart without the exact birth time? So yes, astro.com is amazing. So that's what your rising sign is. So it comes from the time of your birth, and it's the moment when you took your first inhale and you sealed in the cosmic conversation between all the planets in our solar system and the sun in relationship to the earth. So that, as I explained before, that's kind of like the first domino. So this domino goes down, and then everything else in the chart goes and it is all marked out. So then that is what delineates what houses go where. And then that will also show you, when you look at your chart, where each of the planets fall in which house. So there's a whole bunch of different house systems, which we're not going to get into today. There's whole house, there's Placidus, there's campus, there's all these different kinds of houses. So hello sisters, hello brother, welcome, welcome. So what we're talking about right now, because several of you who are on here right now have already seen this, known about this stuff before. So then the question becomes, okay, now I know what my rising sign is. I have my chart. I know where the different planets are in my chart. what do the different houses mean, right? So when I was listening to Alexa say those different things, the reason that I knew she was talking about the 11th house and the second house was because she was talking about other people and pleasing other people and your friends and things like that. And then she was talking about your own personal values and things like that. So I kind of like, there are key words that are connected to each of the different houses. And so that way you can know like which house people are talking about, or which house is being activated by the different things. So it's very simple, really. And we go into way more depth in all of this in the Astro Empowerment course. So I teach a whole module on the houses and everything. So if you are interested in learning more about astrology, empowering yourself to be able to read your own chart without having to consult an astrologer, without having to check anything else from anybody else, just knowing yourself, then go to the link in my bio. I'm like, swipe up. No, then go to the link in my bio and check out the Astro Empowerment course. The doors are closing on Friday. Early in the day on Friday, because the moon is going to go void. So I'm such a nerd. Okay, so if you have your chart, you can look at your chart with us. So the first house is ruled by Aries. So this is independent of whatever your rising sign is. And so this is just kind of the general rulership for each house. Yay, I love the nerdiness too. So this is the general rulership for each house. And so basically it's that they go around the astrological wheel according to the order of the signs. So the first house is ruled by Aries, second house is ruled by Taurus, third house is ruled by Gemini. Hey, Cheyenne. Fourth house is ruled by Cancer, fifth house is ruled by Leo, sixth house is ruled by Virgo, seventh house is ruled by Libra, eighth house is ruled by Scorpio, ninth house is Sagittarius, 10th house is Capricorn, 11th house is Aquarius, and 12th house is Pisces. So, but what does that mean, right? So this is part of the remembering of the language of the stars, right? So it's re-familiarizing. You're not learning it. You're re-familiarizing yourself with the archetypal energies, because there are 4 elements that rule all of the astrological signs. So we'll just go, I'm like, I want to talk about all the things. So you have the fire signs. Fire signs are, do you know? They are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So whether or not you have your sun, moon, or rising, or your sun, or whatever, everybody has all of those signs in your chart, because they are somewhere in this wheel. There's no blank spaces. Even if you have empty houses, there are no blank spaces in this chart. So you have all of the energies of all of the signs in your whole chart. It just depends on where they are relative to your rising sign. So anytime so this morning I have a ritual every morning that I do where I light a candle, I light a stick of incense, I take some salt and I throw it out onto the earth, and then I have a glass of water that I empty out and then I refill. And so the reason that I do all of this is so that I'm honoring all of the 4 elements, and also like the 5th element of spirit, which is myself. So it's this co-creation of all of the elements and me doing it. So when I light that candle, I'm saying I honor and celebrate the element of fire. And I honor and acknowledge all aspects of myself that are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius to move within me, to become my teachers for the day. And therefore, this is getting a little bit deeper, all of the planets that rule those signs. So if it's Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, the rulers of those signs are Mars, the Sun, and Jupiter. So then I invite these planetary bodies as archetypal teachers to come to me today, to be my teachers, to be the sunlight that inspires me. And so I'm really opening myself up through the elements. I'm opening myself up into cosmic conversation. I'm initiating the invitation for collaboration, right? Because we are a free will species. So no angels, even your guardian angel, no angels, no extraterrestrials, no spirit guides, animal allies, other people who have thinking bad thoughts about you. Nobody, I teach about this in my energetic hygiene course, nobody can interact with you without your permission. So whether it's good or bad, right? So when I set my day up and I say, through the lighting of the candle, I invoke the element of fire and all of the attributes and signs connected with that. And then through the lighting of the incense, I'm connecting with the element of air. Did I say air before? I meant fire. Through the lighting of the candle, I'm connecting with the element of fire and all attributes and elements that are myself that are fire. That includes all of the planetary bodies. And then through lighting the stick of incense, I'm connecting with all elements and attributes of air that are within and around me, as above, so below, inviting them in to be my teachers. And then through putting the salt back on the earth, then I am connecting to the earth, inviting and invoking all elements of earth, all those signs, all those planets. Same thing for water. So all of this, that was a diatribe, but all of this to say that no matter what your sun sign is, no matter what even if you have no planets, you look at your chart and you're like for me, it's like I have no planets in Pisces. And so, but I have a lot of Neptunian energies. So it's ruling my third house of communication. So there are, all of these signs are represented in your chart, whether or not you have planets there, whether or not whatever else is happening, all of them are represented. So okay, so we talked about all of the houses are ruled by all of the signs. So first house is ruled by Aries. So anything that is in your first house or any of the astrological weather, when you put the transits on the outside that is affecting your first house, will show up through the lens of what people see about you. Because the first house is like, it's your ascendant sign. So it's like how other people see you. It's your physical appearance, right? It can be your hair. It can be the way that you dress. It's how other people see you. So if you have planets that are in that first house, then other people see the archetypal energy of those planets moving through you. So again, we dive much deeper into all of this in the Astro Empowerment course. We have Q&A sections where we can actually pull up your chart on the screen, go through it together, and you'll be swimming in the stars with all of us for 6 months. So it's like, you will get it, because a lot of the times when we start talking astrology and I start showing you stuff like this, people are like, whoa, and then they tune out. And it's like, that is what they want you to do, because they don't want you to know. So, not anymore. So it is actually very easy once you get the hang of it. Just like speaking French is actually very easy once you get the hang of it, once you immerse yourself into the culture. So any planets that you have in the first house will present archetypically to other people. So they will see those things for you. So then the second house is ruled by Taurus. And so Taurus is all about, it's an earth sign. It's all about what we value, what's important to us. It's all about like material things, right? Like sumptuous fabrics and like, you're so ready to tune in. I know, right? It's like, what the hell have we been doing? Not doing this for so long. So sumptuous fabrics, yummy foods, massages, like sensual things. And that includes like earthly things too. Whether that's actually physically gardening or It's like physical items, right? Like having beautiful things. Like this is very like Taurean, very Taurus. So the second house tells us what we love and value, what's important to us, and it can also showcase like what resources, what you can use to be able to create more material abundance in your life. So when you, in my opinion, this is my interpretation, when you resource the planetary energies that are in your second house, you can use those to make more money, plain and simple. So, and this is like the very short version of all this. Okay, third house is ruled by Gemini, so this is all about communication. It's all about siblings. There's so many things. This is a huge thing, huge topic for each one of these things. I'm really going over it very, very briefly, so please do not take this as the end-all, be-all, like this is how it is, because this is not how it is. There's so much more. So third house is all about communications. It's all about siblings. From my perspective, it's kind of like the whatever planets or even like whatever sign is ruling your third house will kind of flavor what it is that you naturally communicate about. The third house also rules marketing. So it's very easy. So when you tune into your chart and you look at what the third house is, and again, this is so basic, please do not take this as the word of God, right? Or in the word of anybody. You could dive into the third house in order to find out the best way and the best topics that you could communicate and market about in your life and in your business. What it is that you're naturally, it's kind of like the language that you're naturally fluent in. So like for me, it's like my third house is ruled by Pisces. So talking about spiritual shit all day long, I'm into it. So that's what naturally flows out of me as a communication. Okay, I have no idea when we started. That's also another Piscean thing, is I'm like going with the flow, no concept of time. So I don't know if I'll get kicked off here. We'll see. Hey, Alyssa. So fourth house is home, right? It's ruled by Cancer. So it's about home, family of origin, physical home around you. It can give us lots of insights to the home where you grew up in. Lots of family stuff can be in there. It's also like foundational things. So lots of resources in there. It can also show where there are lessons that come from your family and how to work through those. Fifth house is ruled by Leo. So Leo is playful, generous, shiny, wants to be the center of attention, is very creative and very childlike. And so fifth house is also the house of true love, romance, creativity, children, and vacations. One of my favorite houses. In addition to other things, right? I'm just like skimming the surface. We go into a whole thing on all the houses in the Astro Empowerment course, okay? Links in my bio. Sign up before Friday. You won't be sorry. Sixth house is ruled by Virgo. So Virgo this is one of my most favorite houses to talk about because there's so much. Virgo is so misunderstood. I'm going to try and keep it short. So I will keep it short. So I won't share the mystical part, maybe. So the sixth house is, in the traditional language, talked about as the house of work. Which is different from your career. That's a different house. So sixth house is talked about as the house of work. And on a more metaphysical level or a deeper level, sixth house is ruled by Virgo. And Virgo is all about the rituals. The virgins were a priestess cult. And so they were very, very attuned to the rhythms and the cycles of nature and of the elements and of the moon. So the rituals of our day-to-day in modern society has become going to work. That is the ritual, is that you get up, you brush your teeth, you take a shower, and you eat some breakfast, and you go to work. And that's the ritual of the day. There are, of course, other rituals, but so it's about patterns and habits and structures. Yay. Great. I'm glad you're loving it. Yay, yay, yay. I'm loving it too. Okay. So if there's anybody who's on here from the beginning and knows what time we started, let me know. Okay, seventh house is about, seventh house is ruled by Libra. So Libra, and there's a whole journey of the psyche, right? So this is like your interpersonal development. This is like you with you when you're under the eastern horizon, when you're under here. This is all of your personal development. Then once you cross the western horizon and come up into here, this is your interpersonal development. And so this is where you learn about you with other people. This is you with you, and this is you with other people. So when you first cross the line from the sixth house to the seventh house, you encounter the other. You encounter another person. So this is not necessarily like romantic relationships or like your marriage partner or something like that. This is partnership of all kinds. So this can be your marriage. It can be your partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, non-binary, whatever's. It can be your business partner. It can be a soul sister who is just like your ride or die, like amiga for life. It can be many people, right? It's like partnership is, so Libra is the scale, so it's anytime it's you with another person, you're balancing the energies, you're trying to find the harmony between the two. So whatever planets are in your seventh house will give you clues, and also what planets are opposite of that in your first house and also squaring in the other two houses about challenges and also advantages in your relationships. So knowing about your fucking astrology is like so empowering. You know who you can call on, right? Because the planets, when they're out here, these are allies. These are teachers that you have that you place in different places. But right, remember, you are a being of free choice. So unless you call on those planets that are like trining your seventh house, they will be there supporting you. But when you invoke them, like, holy shit, it's next level, like the help that you get. So eighth house is ruled by Scorpio. Scorpio, one of my favorite ways to describe Scorpio and eighth house energy is the way that Carolyn Myss talks about the sacral chakra. So Carolyn Myss describes the sacral chakra as all things that are related to sex, money, and this is the big part, the need to control or be controlled. This is a big piece. So Scorpio energy is ruled by Pluto. So this is like, Pluto is about all things subconscious, all things that are in the depths of your being. This is like a smoldering energy below you, and it's like this, like your psyche, the things that you're not aware of. And so the eighth house is all of those things, right? Power dynamics. That's why they talk about the eighth house is traditionally a money house, and they talk about it like it's other people's money. And so, right? I know. This is why we talk about this stuff. You should sign up for the class. So eighth house is talked about as like other people's money. So it could be money that you get from an inheritance, from your partner, your spouse. It could be money that you get from taxes. It could be money that's taken away from taxes. So it's also one of the deeper layers of the eighth house is that it's things that are not spoken of, which means it's also the mystery schools and all of like Hermetic teachings, ancient Egyptian, Egypt obviously, Atlantean, Lemurian, all kinds of things that are taboo, that are not talked about. So whatever planet's in there can give you clues to those kinds of things. Ninth house is ruled by Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, so it's all things that are expansive, right? Because Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. So it's all things that are expansive. So this is mind expanding. It's all about learning, education, higher education. It's about teaching. It's about travel. It's about learning. It's just all kinds. So it can also tell you what it is that you're here to teach, what it is that you're here to share, give you clues into that. Again, you need to be able to look at your own chart in order to be able to tell exactly how this manifests for you. 10th house. 10th house is ruled by Capricorn. Capricorn is the goat. So it's like Capricorn is the goat fish. Okay. So Capricorn is, oh, good. It's great, simple explanations. Thank you. So so Capricorn is the goat fish. And so this is also one of my favorite signs to talk about because I'm a Capricorn. So most people know Capricorn as the goat, right? Like climbing up and like, you know, stamina and ambition and long-term success and like, but slow and steady wins the race. And so the one thing that I like to mention about Capricorn is that it's a goat fish, right? So yes, it can climb up to the highest mountains, but it also has the dolphin tail, so it can swim down to the deepest depths. Okay, pop quiz. What is at the top of the mountain? I do cover the north and south nodes in the course. We talk about all of the things. I can't help it. I want to talk about all the things. So, what is at the top of the mountain? The wise ones. Okay, so this is where all of the monasteries are, all of the monks, all of the spiritual people go up, not all of them, but a lot of them go up to the mountain, right? Because it's a high frequency place. Yes, a beautiful view, exactly. That too. So Capricorn, although it is very practical and like goal driven and all of that stuff, it's also very mystical. So your career is, yes, practical, and it takes a lot of hard work and will ultimately give you long-term success. And it is also a deeply spiritual mission. That's why your career is different from your work, right? Like the work is the work that you do, day-to-day ritual, but it's like your career, I'm pointing up here like I'm sitting in the chart, your career in the 10th house, this is what you fucking came here to do. I mean, there's other clues, right? Like this person was talking about the north node and the south node. We talk about midheaven, all this kind of stuff. There's clues everywhere. So the other thing is that the goat fish swims down into the depths. What is at the bottom of the ocean? Metaphorically, symbolically speaking. I know it's like this subpelagic trench or whatever that's called. But from a mythological perspective, what is at the bottom of the ocean? Hidden treasures! Calm. Yes, calm is also down there too, which is also a hidden treasure, right? Calm is totally a hidden treasure. So, yeah, so there's all of these different aspects to it. So, 10th house is your career, fame, destiny, reputation in the world. So the planets that are in your 10th house or different like initiations, you have Saturn going over your 10th house, fucking gonna be a huge explosion when he gets to your 11th house, because it's like you've been building the structure for your career. Like you're ready to do the damn thing. It's happening. So the unseen, right? Yes, I don't know if there's a lag, but yes, the hidden treasures are also the unseen at the bottom of the ocean. So 10th house planets will give you clues about your career, fame, destiny, reputation in the world, the legacy that you came to leave, what you will have to work for in order to attain lasting long-term success. So totally just paraphrasing things. This is like the mini version. So again, like, please take the class because we need to talk about all the things. 11th house is ruled by Aquarius. So Aquarius is the rebel, the innovator, the mad scientist, the revolutionary, connected to extraterrestrial frequencies. It is it's about, I just said all of that stuff, but it's also, it's really humanitarian. So through the rebellion, through the mad scientist trying to innovate to find something that will help the humans, we find out who our tribe is, who our community is, who our friend groups are, who the people that we go to make connections with, to ask for help and resources from. So the 11th house is also the house of your goals and your visions and your dreams. Not the visions and dreams is more of a Neptunian thing, but it's really like your goals and aspirations, because it's called the house of gains. So it's the house of your community, but it's also the house of gains. It really makes me wonder what the founder of Kickstarter's chart looks like. So 11th house can give you clues as to how you can connect with your community. For example, I have Uranus in the 11th house, which means my community is on the internet, because Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, and Uranus rules the internet because it's electricity, right? Like Uranus is like lightning strike. It's that like sudden storm energy. Okay, so finally we've got 12th house. So 12th house is ruled by Pisces. So Pisces is the dream world, the meditative state. I like to call it the multidimensional ocean of all that is. The traditional language for the 12th house is a little bit interesting to me, because it's like the house of institutions. So they talk about it like hospitals, government buildings, asylums, but basically it's kind of like where people go when they're not part of the collective. So to me, that's and okay, so it's ruled by Pisces, so then there's always like two sides of it. So to me, in my understanding of it, it's really like, you know, our access, and one of our access to the dream world, our access to the unseen, the spiritual connection, which is oftentimes where people had to go when they were crazy and they had to go to asylums. So one of the cool things, I will give you guys a little bit of a cherry on top here at the end. So one of the cool things, again, and please check out the Astro Empowerment course. We need to go into so much more detail on this, because this is just going to be like the dangling the carrot. So the planets that you find in your 12th house will show you the archetypal energies. This is one way of looking at the planets that you find in your 12th house. They will show you the archetypal energies that you will be able to recognize in other people from past lives. Because you know we're going to talk about past lives when I'm teaching an astrology class. So that is the overview of all of the houses. Tracy, I think you asked for this question, so I was so glad to see you on here. I hope that you're able to tune in for the whole thing, if not right now or later. Pluto, Mars, and Saturn in your 12th house. Whoa, you get to recognize all of the powerful, masculine, transformational shamans that are not all necessarily the same person in those same words. So yeah, Pluto, Mars, and Saturn would definitely be powerful people. It would be masculine people. It would be people that you had given your authority to, or people that you thought of as authority figures. You could recognize your fathers from past lives. You could recognize people that you had fought on the battlefield with from past lives. Yeah, you want to join the class, sister? Yay, 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 yay. Link is in my bio. Doors close on Friday. The portal is open for you. Yay. North Node in Aries, she's going for it, right? She's like, I'm taking the action. Let's do the damn thing. Good. Oh, I love it when we get to speak the language of the stars together. I know, right? So it's like, you could know all of this for yourself. You love it because your Christian childhood taught you not to accept any of this stuff, and now you're older and you've never better let me learn more. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So My friends, it is time to empower ourselves. This knowledge is here. It is available. It is actually very easy to learn. I am teaching it to you over the course of 6 months. And the reason that I'm doing it for 6 months is because I want it to be an embodied experience, right? I want you to actually get it in your bones so that you too can just riff on it. You don't have to. I didn't use any notes. I'm not like secretly looking at something on here that's like showing me my notes about what all of these energies are like, or like, you know, checking my journal about like what the descriptors of each sign is like. No, like it's just here, right? I just know it. It's just coming out. This could be your experience too. So, and it's like you'll be able to recognize it right away when it comes into your life, and it won't be these things like, okay, so for example, the best example that I had recently was on the Scorpio full moon. Yes, it was a Scorpio full moon, a very powerful full moon. So I was with my dad and we went to the farmer's market. We started talking to this guy who sharpens knives. Knives are a very Scorpio thing, right? Cut down into it. And so he starts telling us about this like secret thing that he's been working on. And he's like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm telling you guys this. I've never told anybody about it so far. And I was like, sounds like Scorpio full moon. And I wasn't like, this guy's a weirdo. Why is he telling me all of this stuff? And then we end up going to this restaurant and, you know, we're like the girl at the front, we're like, you know, hey, how's it going? And she's like, oh, like, you know, da-da-da-da, and starts telling us all this stuff about someone who is a pathological liar and all of this stuff. Thank you. And I was just like, I was able to see. It's like you're able to, when you know and are tuned in to the archetypal energies, you are able to see them acting through the people and situations around you. And so you're not like, well, this is a crazy person, TMI, why is she telling me all this stuff? I'm totally gonna go have to sage myself after this. You're like, there it is, full moon in Scorpio, full moon, extracting all of the things, Scorpio energy, secrets, lies, power manipulations. And I'm like, great, glad you're working with the energies. I'm gonna go have my dinner, you know? So your life can be completely changed. You'll have a totally different perspective on how things relate to you or how they don't relate to you. And you'll be like, that's not me. That's just the energy. I just recognize it. So please do take a look at the link in my bio. 6-month astrology immersion. I know, right? It's so funny when you get to see the energies, and so then you don't take it personally or think that people are weird or judge them or stuff. So 6-month astrology immersion, we already talked about the layout of the chart, so you get access to module 1 as soon as you sign up. We're going to go into all of the planets. We have 2 different modules. So this is actually 4 weeks total of working on the first layer of the planets. And then we go deeper into the houses. We go into the North Node and the South Node, the path of your karma and your soul's purpose. We talk about how to find the different asteroid goddesses in your chart. We talk about different planetary initiations, whether you're 30 or 40 or 50 or beyond that. So we talk about all of the things. We talk about how to find your star families. We talk about everything. So your life will be changed. Go to the link in my bio, tap the link for Astro Empowerment. Please check it out before Friday. Doors are closing Friday at 12 noon Pacific time. So get on it if you're feeling called, led, or guided. It would be my deepest honor to share everything that I know. Oh, I'm also doing a special bonus video about eclipses because we're doing eclipse season next month. The eclipses are happening. We're not doing eclipses in the course. We're doing eclipses in the course because eclipse season is upon us. So those things are going to be happening. So if you would like to be informed, tap the link in my bio. I would love, love, love to swim in the stars with you. I hope that this was helpful. Thank you all for being here. I love you so much, and I will see you next time for another astrology hour.